Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Well, you picked a good day to be here. Lot going on, lot to tell you about. It's just, like every day, but there's an especially amazing load of stuff to share with you today. Let's start with Harry Stisson, the paid Biden shill, yesterday trying to convince us that Joe Biden is a very healthy president. Oh, super, super healthy.
Listen, to the Trump supporters and the Republicans, please try to tell me again how Joe Biden is sleepy and how he's staying in his basement. Because right now, it's 10 a.m. on September 11th in Vietnam, where Joe Biden's already a couple hours into the 5th day of his around-the-world trip to India and Vietnam. Joe Biden is now beginning a 30-hour marathon on Monday, which includes 6 meetings in Vietnam, a 10-hour flight to Anchorage, Alaska, where he'll commemorate the 22nd anniversary of 9/11, then another 7-hour flight to D.C., where he'll land around midnight. Does that sound like someone who's sleepy and can't do the job?
Yes.
Biden was just awake for 24 hours straight. Now he's doing this 30-hour schedule with back-to-back plans.
Was not awake for 30 hours
seeing
straight.
All the meetings he's had in the past day in Vietnam and India. How can anybody possibly claim that Joe Biden is too tired to do the job?
Yeah, how can you claim it?
How can you claim that?
Joe Biden is traveling more than any Republican presidential candidate, and they just have to travel in the United States. They don't have to go abroad and be jet lagged. See, this narrative about Joe Biden being weak or sleepy or staying in his basement that Republicans have tried to push has always been garbage. Always been garbage, never backed up by fact. I would love to see any of these Republicans try to do the schedule that Joe Biden has. Can you imagine Donald Trump doing this?
Yes.
I certainly couldn't.
He certainly couldn't, so it's not possible.
Well, yeah, if he can't, then that does it, right?
Boy, they make him say some weird stuff to make sure that those checks clear.
No kidding.
From the DNC.
And he's a paid douchebag from the DNC, as we know, right?
I love all of his stupid videos. The community notes there say how he's a paid spokesman for the DNC. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Well, he's earning his money because that's tough to say with a straight face. Are you kidding me? So all you're taking on is the tired thing, which we'll prove in here in just a second.
Oh yeah.
But how about the dementia problem?
Right.
Have you ever seen a video of this guy? Are you kidding me? You're going to try to make the point that he's completely healthy and of sound mind? That's impossible. It's an impossible task.
What's his buddy's name? Harry's buddy that does these videos with him. Chris? Okay. See, Chris, does he get paid the same to just sit there and go point at his bicep? Because that's literally all he does.
That's all he does.
He's like,
I think he's a ringleader. Harris is a ringleader.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Well, here's Joe just a few weeks back, and we'll compare that to what Donald Trump was doing at the same time. Show you which one is sleepy, which one is tired.
Our buddy Tim,
on the right.
Tim Young put this together.
It's great.
A lot of people are in the building. More security in the form of
But can you imagine Donald Trump doing this? Yeah,
I can. Oh my! And he's already done it. He was president. He went all over the place. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, in Vietnam, he was talking about him in Vietnam and how grueling his schedule was. Here's what Joe himself said in Vietnam.
Anyway, I just think that there are other things on leaders' minds, and they respond to what's needed at the time. And look, nobody likes having celebrated international meetings.
What?
If you don't know what you want at the meeting.
What?
If you don't have a game plan. He may have a game plan.
What are you talking
about? He just hasn't shared it with me. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
No, he's not tired. Don't worry about it. He doesn't get tired, this guy. This guy, you can't even keep up with him. I don't know about you, but I'm going to bed. I've never heard that from another president ever in my lifetime. I don't think those words have ever been uttered by another president.
What did he say? Nobody likes meetings where you don't play that. Can we listen to this again?
Anyway, I just think that there
Nobody
are
likes
other
meetings.
things on leaders' minds, and they respond to what's needed at the time. And look, nobody
likes meetings.
likes
Meetings. Say
having
it. Oh, having.
celebrated
Wait, celebrate.
international meetings.
Pause it for a second. Wait.
I don't know.
Nobody likes having celebrated international meetings?
Yes, okay, you got it.
I didn't realize international meetings were celebrated.
It's the President of the United States.
But nobody likes having them celebrated.
No.
How long have I said that about international meetings? I don't like having them celebrated.
Yeah, I know.
I don't.
That's kind of your thing.
It's been my thing.
It's weird that the old man picked up on it.
See, it is.
Okay,
It is.
nobody
But I've
likes
done it since the
having-
late 40s. It's about time somebody noticed how I dislike having celebrated international meetings.
Okay, what's the rest of this nonsense?
Know what you want
Wait,
at the meeting.
if you don't know what you want,
If you don't have a game plan, he
And you
may have a
need,
game plan.
you don't have a
He
game
just
plan.
hasn't shared it with me.
And you just,
But I tell you what, I don't know
Okay.
about you,
good night.
but I'm going to go to bed.
all right, night-night, pumpkin. Night-night. CP tight.
And he sucks.
Don't let the bed bugs bite. Oh, my gosh. Then yesterday, on the anniversary of 9/11, Joe Biden was in Alaska. And, of course, took the occasion to talk about and make it about himself and football.
It's unusual.
To renew our sacred vow, never forget.
Wait a minute. Not this one. Do we have the other one? The football one? Clip 16.
It's good to see you. Governor and I have something in common. We're both from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I wish I had him playing in my high school ball club that I was playing.
Oh, my God.
But I could have been an All-American having you in front of me.
Because, of course, he was a running back. No, wait, he wasn't a running back. He was a wide receiver or something. Or then he was going for the same position on the Navy football team that Roger Staubach was going.
Okay.
Or, except for the fact that...
Just had a blocker. Lead blocker. I could have been somebody.
And again, he's commenting on some guy's muscle, right?
Yeah.
Or size or whatever.
He likes that governor of Alaska.
Yeah, I tell you another thing. His muscles.
Right.
They glisten in the sunshine.
And what a better time for small talk about olden times, playing football.
And making it about football and about
anniversary
you
of
on 9/11.
Yeah.
The 22nd anniversary in Alaska about 9/11. Well, no, not about 9/11. It's about you, as always.
So now let's see that other clip here, shall we?
Gosh. Is this the
To renew our sacred vow, never forget. Never forget. We never forget. Each of us, each of those precious lives stolen too soon when evil attacked. Ground Zero in New York. And I remember standing there the next day and looking at the building. I felt like I was looking through the gates of hell. It looked so devastating.
Did you
because
memorize
the way you could, from where you could
He
stand.
remembers it.
Yeah.
He remembers it. And, of course, it didn't happen, but he remembers it. He remembers it the next day. In his book, Promises to Keep, he writes something similar. I could see a brown haze of smoke hanging in the otherwise crystal clear sky beyond the Capitol dome. I headed back to the Capitol the next morning. No. Sorry, that's not right.
No, it's on so many ways to prove it, too.
It's another fat freaking lie.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the floor of the Senate on
The next
September
day.
12th. Yes,
Yeah.
he did Charlie Rose that night, September 12th.
From Washington, right?
Yes, from Washington.
From Washington, D.C.
Yep.
So he was in Washington doing the Senate vote. Then they had a Senate meeting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then he was doing Charlie Rose that night. He's a stinking liar. He can't tell the truth. It's impossible for this guy. He was not there the next day.
And he went there, 9 days later?
Yeah, he was there, I believe, on September 20th. Okay, so he was there. Why can't you just talk about a week later or a little over that? I was standing there. First chance I got to go to New York. And I was standing there. And I could see the brown hair. Whatever, but why do you have to lie about it and say it was the next day?
That's his natural instinct.
Yeah, the truth is never acceptable to him.
So we have this new gizmo thing here.
We do.
That Chris set up.
Pat Gray Pinocchios.
Pat Gray Pinocchios. Mm-hmm. So, after having weighed all those facts...
So how many Pat Pinocchios should he get for this?
How many do you think?
I mean, he did go on the 20th. So
but he said the next day.
He did say the next day. That's obviously a lie. So obviously deserves one. I'm going to give him two. I'm going to give him two Pinocchios.
Just the two?
Yeah. Two Pinocchios.
Okay, what's our scale up to? Technically, it's 5?
Technically, it's 5. Because 5 is your pants are on fire.
Okay.
Pants are on fire, okay.
So it's 4, and then your pants are on fire.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
I mean, I think you got to give him at least a 3. I mean, he was way off.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was 8 days off.
Okay.
Is that egregious?
I just want to say that we give more credit.
Yeah.
We're getting more credit than Washington Post.
Is
the Washington Post literally sitting like, let's be fair.
No.
He was there 8 days. Like, this is more fair than any fact checking out there right now.
And he doesn't deserve it.
No,
Frankly,
he doesn't.
He doesn't deserve
but we
it.
still give him 2.
Let's stay with 3. Let's go to 3. We'll go to 3. You convinced me because I'm not feeling generous.
We were
where
talking.
He's concerned.
We were talking last week about how the press is turning on him. They don't want him running again.
They don't.
And this is it's just stunning that yesterday CNN did this 2-page fact check on this Ground Zero claim.
Oh, okay.
And in it, they talked about how another false claim about his own past. They didn't just stick to his 9/11 stuff.
Wow.
They went and they talked about the bridge in Pittsburgh that he lies about.
Oh, yeah. He was there that day and watched the bridge fall.
Right.
If you remember correctly.
They talked about Ange and the Amtrak story. They talked about being arrested at civil rights protests.
Jeez.
They talked about used to drive an 18-wheeler. They talked about him saying that he was at the Pittsburgh synagogue.
My gosh.
That's CNN.
So many.
They want him. And by the way, so on brand for this Marxist administration yesterday on the 22nd anniversary of Islamic terrorists taking down buildings in America, killing up to 3,000 people. Mm-hmm. That day, the Biden administration has to announce a deal with a terrorist regime in Iran.
Yeah.
Of a hostage swap and $6 billion being freed up for Iranians for that government. And there's a tweet about cooperation with Saudi Arabia. And that was intentional by these Marxists.
It's crazy.
Oh, so maddening.
It's crazy. All right, 888-900-3393. Let me tell you, take a minute, tell you about iTarget Pro. There's a lot to be nervous about right now. Open social media or turn on the news, and all you see is crime and societal decay. A lot of people just run out and buy a gun, and then it sits in a safe. If there's ever an emergency, they're not going to be prepared, and they run the risk of hurting themselves or others. So there's no way around it. You need to train, and you need to train often. Unfortunately, it's time-consuming to go to the range, assuming there's even one nearby, and it's expensive. I mean, ammo prices alone are through the roof right now. iTarget was invented so you could practice anytime in the safety and convenience of your own home. Just download the iTarget Pro app, load your caliber-specific laser bullet into your firearm, and start training. Practice alone, compete with friends, or use it to safely train friends and family who are new to firearms. Go to itargetpro.com, get 10% off at checkout when you use the offer code PAT. This is the smartest and safest way to train, which is why competitive shooters trust dry fire training as part of their regimen. Get yours today. That's the letter I, then targetpro.com. itargetpro.com, offer code PAT.
Beware. Pat Gray is unleashed.
Oh, good. Yesterday, good news. The FDA approved the new COVID booster shot.
Oh, it's about time.
Yay!
About time. Been waiting for this one.
Oh, man.
This is the one where I'm like, yes.
Finally.
Now I'm doing this.
Finally. It will be available to Americans by next week. Finally. Man, we've been excited about this. For how long?
Can I get some... Will we get paid if we go and get the shot? Because I know some companies were saying, hey, remember back in the day, you can get the vaccine, we'll pay you for the day.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So let's
see about that.
I just want the free donut.
Have to look into that.
Yeah.
Do you get a free donut too?
You did last time.
Yeah. Okay. Donut, ice
shop
cream.
around. See where the best deal is.
Bribing us with all kinds of different things.
Money, gift cards.
Money. Yeah, money.
Burgers.
Donuts, ice cream, burgers. A new car.
Hey, it
We'll
worked.
give you a car if you
worked.
just get the shot.
It worked for Suarez. I gave that man $1 and he sent me 20. That did come through.
Oh, it did come. Wow.
Have we talked about that?
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think we have. So he did send you the $20.
Well, okay.
For $1.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I got an email that I clicked on and gave my mailing address because I'm too old school for a digital Visa gift card.
Oh.
So I technically don't have it yet.
So you don't have it in your possession. But
I'm supposed to get it within 3 weeks. So if I don't have it by the end of this month, we're going to Miami, y'all. Anyway, there you go. So
and he's done. He's not even in the race anymore.
I think he had an attorney or some legal helper say, yeah, if you don't follow through with this, you're going to have another legal issue.
Yeah,
on
that's
your hands.
election fraud, my friend. So Florida Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo said during a press conference, people should not receive the updated COVID-19 booster vaccine. What?
Wait, but with a free donut, though, remember?
Or is it ice cream?
Or is it ice cream? I don't know.
There's been no clinical trial done in human beings showing that it benefits people, he said. That is so typical. I mean, can you believe it? They're doing it again.
Of course.
That's the same thing we had last time. There was no clinical trial involving humans last time, and there's no clinical trial involving humans this time. You can't get it out that fast if you're doing clinical trials. It takes a while to see if people are developing, any sort of side effects, to see what happens to them afterward. Does it work?
Does it work? Can we just get there?
Jeez. There's been no clinical trial showing that it is a safe product for people. And not only that, but then there are a lot of red flags. However, Ladapo urged Floridians to make their own decisions based on their convictions. He suggested people make decisions based on their resonance of truth instead of relying on very educated people telling you what you should think. When they try to convince you to be comfortable and agree with things that don't feel comfortable, that don't feel like things you should agree with, that's a sign, right? That's a gift, Ladapo said. That's very interesting and very true. And I can't believe they're doing this again to us. I should believe it because this is how they operate.
I wonder if this is the one that the tennis guy is going to finally get.
Djokovic?
Yeah.
Yeah. After winning the U.S. Open, they let him finally play in America. And when he did, he won it. He won the tournament.
Congrats. He's a hero, man.
Yep. I mean, good for him for holding out.
Yes, sir.
That's a lot of money. I mean, what does the winner of the U.S. Open get? $3-4 million? So by having to skip it, not being able to participate, you're losing a lot of money. But they let him into the country. He played, and he won it. You know what's interesting, too, is that speaking of tennis, a lot of Americans are starting to rise to the top in the tennis world again. I mean, it's been a while. It's been since the, Andy Roddick days. I think he was ranked number 1 in the world for a while. Before that, it was Pete Sampras, one of the greatest of all time. Andre Agassi. I mean, if you go way back, you got your Jimmy Connors and your John McEnroes. But it's been a long time since Americans have really been dominant on the world stage of tennis. But now we have 2 guys in the top 10, which is kind of fun. Just looking here at the rankings. You got this 19-year-old kid, Carlos Alcaraz, I think he's 20 now, who was number one, but Novak Djokovic just replaced him because he won the U.S. Open. So he's number one now. But at number 8 is Taylor Fritz, who did pretty well in the Open. I think he made it to the quarterfinals, maybe. And then you've got, Taylor Fritz is number 8. At number 11 is Francis Tiafoe, another American. Then Tommy Paul at 13. You have another American, so 3 in the top 15. Somebody at number 32, Christopher Eubanks, Sebastian Corda at 33, Mackenzie McDonald at 39. And then you go down to Ben Shelton, who just made the semifinals at the U.S. Open. Wow. Now because of that, he's in the top 40. So,
okay, well,
congratulations to our Americans. I don't know what happened to Riley Opelka, our friend.
Did he get injured or something?
I think he did. Yeah,
he was really good.
He was 17th in the world, and now he's he's like in the hundreds now.
Yeah,
because of his injury, and he can't play for a while. So
should we revisit Djokovic and what he said? Remember his interview with the BBC back in February of 2022?
Let's revisit that.
Yeah, because he had principle then, and he held on to it, and
good for him.
Everyone came around to him.
Incredible.
But remember this pressure?
I understand the consequences of my decision. And one of the consequences of my decision was not going to Australia, and I was prepared not to go. And I understand that not being vaccinated today, I'm unable to travel to most of the tournaments at the moment.
And that's the price you're willing to pay?
That is the price that I'm willing to pay.
Ultimately, are you prepared to forego the chance to be the greatest player that ever picked up a racket, statistically?
Pause it for a second. You mean to maintain my values? No, I'm not. I'm willing to sell out everything I am and believe in. If it just means I'll be the best in the world or the best of all time. So yeah, I've got no principles. I've got no principles whatsoever. I'm willing to sell out. You bet. What a douchebag.
Yeah, and leave it to a European journalist to be stunned that someone would have principle.
Yeah, check this out. He is stunned too, by the way. Let's see the rest of this.
The chance to be the greatest player that ever picked up a racket, statistically. Because you feel so strongly about this jab.
Yes.
Yes! I love this guy.
Pretty easy answer.
But as things stand, if this means that you miss the French Open, is that a price you'd be willing to pay?
Yes, that is the price that I'm willing to pay.
And if it means that you miss Wimbledon this year, again, that's a price you're willing to pay?
Yes.
What part of yes don't you get?
Why, Novak?
Why? Because the principles of decision-making on my body are more important than any title.
Good for you, man. That's amazing.
I'm trying to be in tune with my body as much as I possibly can.
Yeah. And I've seen too many athletes. We talked about the fact that there were over 700 at one point who had keeled over. Many of them died. Some of them just passed out, had cardiac events, survived it. But many have just dropped to the ground or to a floor for no apparent reason when they're some of the most in-shape people in the world.
No, I've been reading articles that said
they're all dehydrated.
Totally normal. Yeah, and it's been happening forever.
Sure.
You just didn't know about it.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard.
Is it climate change? Is that what it is?
I've heard it's climate change.
It's either been happening or it's climate change that is now causing it.
Well, it's one of those two.
Like seriously,
it's nothing new that is explainable with
people from the same side of the aisle want you to believe that either A, this has been happening forever, or no, it's just happening now because of global warming.
Right.
Like it's just,
yep.
You can't talk to these people.
I mean, the guy had already missed the Australian Open. He had already missed the I think the previous U.S. Open. He'd been denied going to major tournaments and winning millions of dollars. He just won $3 million over the weekend for winning the U.S. Open. $3 million. And so he'd been turning down the opportunity to make millions because of his principle.
Why?
Why? You ever heard of my body, my choice? You ever heard of that? And the guy got COVID a couple of times, I believe. I think twice. And so he's got the antibodies. He doesn't need to get the vaccine, and everybody knows it. Your actual natural immunity is so much better than the vaccine is, without the side effect possibility. Even if you're not sure about the side effects, okay, fine. But you don't need to take a chance when you've got your natural immunity. It works better. And we don't even know. And now they're going to do it again to us. Now they're doing it again. Another vaccine that has not been through human trials. We don't know what's going to happen to your body afterwards. We're just going to roll the dice and see if it's okay. And if it stops the virus any better than the first time around, which, it's not going to. It's not going to. Pathetic.
By the way, this
really pathetic
tennis guy, you guys got me really doing some research on him. His net worth is $240 million.
Yeah, he's made a lot of money.
He can lay out of
I know. That's true. But here's the thing, though, Chris. He has to pay for his own travel.
What?
Right?
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, so that 240 is going to
It's probably
deplete.
more like $220 million after travel expenses.
Wow. How's he traveling?
I don't know.
Coach. Definitely coach on Spirit.
He spends a lot of money on travel.
Yeah.
He's going first class. He stays at the best hotels. He eats. Okay, so maybe it's, what do you think a year? $1 million a year on travel?
I mean, I don't know.
He's 36 now. He's been doing this since 20 maybe, so 16 years. I don't know, do the math. But anyway.
A good return of investment.
Yeah.
If you're only spending one and you get three.
Yeah. He's made a lot of money. I mean, if you're one of the best in the world in tennis, you're going to be a wealthy person. No doubt about that. So, I mean, I don't know that any of us are weeping over his not earning the $3 million for the Australian Open and the last U.S. Open. But still, it's an amazing thing. Who doesn't want to make $3 million and become the best, be considered the best of all time?
Be sure that you teach your kids about heroes like him.
Yeah.
It pays to stand on principle. By the way, something funny that was going around yesterday is that I guess the best shot of the day in tennis is sponsored by Moderna. If I'm not mistaken, it's like the Moderna shot of the day.
No. And it was Djokovic?
Yes, it is.
It's so ironic.
Mm-hmm. Hashtag put that in your pipe.
Do we have the best shot of the day?
No.
I can
Brought to us by Moderna? That's so amazing. What are the odds? Seriously, that's great.
I mean, they've got plenty of money to burn.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they made a little bit of cash.
Government contracts will do that for you.
Plus, masks are returning to certain parts of the country.
Don't let them, y'all. Don't let them.
Don't forget the madness. Check this out.
Mm-hmm. We can't forget this kind of stuff. It's a kid's grandma. Hug grandma through the plastic sheets. Are you for real?
This was last time, right?
Yeah, this is last time. I'm just saying, we're going to go back to this stuff if you're not careful.
Yeah.
You give them an inch, man.
I mean, they're absolutely trying to make it happen again. They're just going to run into an awful lot of resistance this time.
Well,
I mean, people are already pissed, and they're already talking about it. Do not cave into this.
Well, yeah, and you're right. Some parts of the country were more authoritarian than others.
Yeah.
As Gavin Newsom reminds us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I worry about democracy. I worry about the fetishness for autocracy that we're seeing, not just from Trump, but around the world, and notably across this country. I've made the point about DeSantis that I think he's functionally authoritarian.
He's functionally authoritarian because he allows people to do what they want, to go where they want, not to shut down their business. Who's the authoritarian here?
Yeah, there's so much to that interview. I think he was probably talking about like the school books and stuff.
I know.
And all stuff. But but this is the governor, Newsom, who allowed some school districts in California that said, oh, if you want to go to school, little kid, you better get the shot.
Right.
The guy who shut down businesses but allowed Hollywood to remain open.
And let's go with the main point. We're not a democracy! Let's not forget that.
Write that one down.
That's there as well.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
things going on. Massive wine spill in Portugal. I mean, massive. To the point where the city, the little town that this happened in Portugal, the streets were flooded with wine. You got to look it up and check out the video because the street is overflowing with 600,000 gallons of wine. Wow, is that bizarre?
Wow.
Some kind of spill in the distillery, and fortunately, it doesn't look like there were injuries.
Oh, that's good. That's different than what that reminded me of was the Great Molasses Flood of 1919 in Boston, Massachusetts.
What? The Great Molasses Flood?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
I'm unfamiliar with the Great Molasses Flood.
Oh, well, see, Calvin Coolidge had been governor of Massachusetts for less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
And this big, molasses place, like the seams busted open and just molasses flooded everywhere. Yeah.
I'm looking this up.
Looking it up?
This cannot have happened.
And 20-something people died.
Oh, my gosh.
It was a
21 people.
21 people.
January 15th. 1919, in the North End neighborhood of Boston, a molasses tank exploded, dumping 2.3 million gallons of molasses.
That seems like a lot.
21 people drowned in molasses.
What a way to go, huh?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken,
that's crazy.
I think it was like, maybe wrong.
Wow.
On how hot it was.
It was apparently, the molasses was warm. I know that. They had just dropped off a huge delivery of warm molasses, which mixed with the cold molasses.
Right, that's what it was.
And that caused the tank to explode.
Yeah, and I believe that for decades, the city still...
The residents claim that you could still smell molasses decades later.
When it got hot?
Oh, my gosh. That is unbelievable.
History's
fun. And it's not funny.
No.
Is it too soon? To talk about the 21 people who died from molasses.
What's the cooling off period on molasses?
I don't.
Yeah.
And molasses, 2.3 million gallons of it.
I think in Boston, there's still
unreal.
A placard, like a memorial today.
Well, that's a huge disaster. That is huge. Global warming.
Global warming did that.
Global warming did
that. Because
the
molasses wouldn't have been nearly as warm.
No, it wouldn't have. Not without global warming.
Can you still smell the molasses today?
I don't think you can still smell the molasses in the North End of Boston. I don't know if somebody lives in the North End. Call us and let us know. On hot summer days, do you smell molasses? I mean, that wouldn't be terribly unpleasant.
It's better than burning pig.
Burned pig. Like I
Yes.
used to smell in Billings, Montana all the time because there was a pig processing plant, pork plant, where they burn the skin off the hair off the pigs. And
that would be worse than
oh my gosh, it was nasty.
Living south of the paper mill up there near Rome, Georgia. The wind would blow out of the northwest, blow into Marietta some days.
Then there was in Salt Lake City, there was the smell of rotting brine shrimp from the shores of the Great Salt Lake. That occasionally, when the winds would be blowing from the north to the south, that was nasty.
Or any number of feedlots scattered throughout the state of Nebraska.
Sure. That wouldn't be pleasant. But molasses, I would think that'd be a fairly pleasant smell, right? Sweet.
I guess, if it's not in your lungs.
Yeah. You don't necessarily want to be smelling that all the time, but man, 21 people drowned in molasses in the United States of America. Hard to believe.
Not a good way to go.
So weird.
Yeah.
Today, that would be attributed to global warming.
Sure.
Climate change.
Yeah, today's containers just can't handle...
Right, the warming planet. It's warming up everything, including the molasses tanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you talk about the volcano in Hawaii?
No, there was another eruption?
Eruption in Hawaii.
What was it? Which volcano do we know?
Kilauea?
Yeah, Kilauea. I've been worried about that for a long time. Was it ash or was it
was
lava
everything.
too? Everything. Oh, wow.
And then you got the Morocco earthquake?
Yeah, geez, that's tragic. About 3,000 and counting.
And then you got Eastern Libya flooded.
Where in Libya?
Eastern Libya, so Derna, Libya.
Is Libya and Libya, are those the same things?
No, those are two different things.
Two different
Are you mocking his...
No, I'm for clarification for the audience.
Okay.
By the way, more than 5,000 people are missing.
In Libya?
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. Jeez.
And 1,500 bodies were recovered from this flooding.
Already?
Storm Daniel. Yeah.
You got any more natural disasters you could throw at us here? I mean,
well, and
my gosh,
climate change. There'll probably be more every day now because this never happened before. This is unprecedented. It's unprecedented. Never before have these things happened. Well, except for the Great Molasses Flood of 1919. That did happen.
That happened.
Yeah, it happened. What are you going to do? You're going to drown is what you're going to do.
Show up with a plate full of pancakes? I don't know. Say, hey, I heard you
heard you had a molasses spill.
You need
free molasses for everybody.
You need a cleanup crew. Well, me and my boy Jeffy are here.
How would you clean up that sticky mess? 2.3 million gallons of molasses can't be, especially in 1919. That's not easy to clean.
Boy.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Wait,
crazy.
Hope for rain. Let's see. Yeah. Okay.
You went through. Get this. Here's another amazing statistic. It rushed through the streets of Boston at an estimated 35 miles an hour.
35 miles per hour, yep. Mm-hmm.
By definition, molasses is slow. And yet, 35 miles an hour it's going through the streets. There's no escape from that.
So on the Great Molasses Flood, you asked how they cleaned it up.
Yeah.
And it was impossible. But then the workers realized that salt water breaks down molasses. So then they started pumping in water from Boston Harbor.
Really?
Yeah, that's how
true?
they got that out. Yeah.
Wow.
They don't make stuff up.
That's amazing.
Not when it's history that even gets remotely close to Calvin Coolidge.
That's amazing. Your love, your fetish for Calvin Coolidge, if you will,
Sir.
has led to some interesting stuff, though.
That's how I found out about the Great Molasses Flood.
That's great.
Yep.
Jeez.
And
that's like the huge explosion. I think it was World War I, and we've talked about this before, where Nazi or German spies blew up part of New York. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was one of the largest explosions of all time. I mean, you find out some amazing things that nobody knows about when you look into this.
You just got to read.
Yeah,
I know it's I know it's inconvenient to open books anymore.
It is. Yeah, it is.
But give it a shot.
Try it sometime. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm ashamed because I don't read nearly as much as I used to. So I need to get back in that habit.
Well, you know what? Can you make a commitment to us today to read at least one book a week?
Oh, hell no.
For the rest of the
year.
year.
Slow
Come
reader.
On. Wow. Okay. I'm disappointed in you then. A Virginia mom is suing a school district claiming staff kept her daughter, Sage Blair's transition to male, a secret before the runaway teen was kidnapped, raped, and trafficked across state lines. Oh, my.
So sad.
The mother of a teenage girl who was bullied in school and eventually sex trafficked is suing her daughter's school district for withholding the information that the teenage student was identifying as a male at school. I hope she owns this school district after this trial is concluded.
Yeah.
This is the only way to stop it. Hit them where they live, and that's in their federal funds. And if you have to pay this woman millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars because of this, then maybe people will think twice before they don't notify parents after this.
You remember the dad that showed up at the school board meeting
gosh.
because he couldn't get a satisfactory answer from the school where
about his daughter being raped?
A daughter was raped by a boy that pretended to be a girl.
Right.
And
but that doesn't happen, Keith.
No.
Well, except it did already.
And so the
It's
school
happened several times.
not only did it happen, but then the school hid the fact that it happened and then transferred that student who was a dude pretending to be a girl
to another school.
And then that happened over there as well. Another rape as well.
Right, because when he realized he could get away with it, he just kept doing it.
And so Governor Youngkin has pardoned the dad, Scott Smith.
Thank goodness.
So that is
that's great news.
Good story there. I mean, I'm very sorry that this happened to those girls. My gosh, I cannot imagine this.
So this mom filed a lawsuit against the Appomattox County School Board and district staff, in addition to a Baltimore public defender for actions that she alleged deprived her of properly parenting her child. Blair now claims that her daughter was severely bullied in high school. I thought the kids were all accepting of this. I thought this was a wonderful thing and a great transition, and everybody's supportive, and we're all inclusive now and diverse, and we love diversity. Diversity is our biggest strength.
That's right.
It powers our society, this diversity does. Apparently, these kids haven't been notified of that. So the school was aware of the bullying, but the mom alleges that the school district withheld the information about why the bullying was happening.
Well, I mean, really, the school basically embraced her wanting to have a different identity. If they had
love that.
Right. If they had just stopped that, then the kids wouldn't be bullying her. In theory, right?
In theory.
Instead of just saying, yeah, absolutely. And they gave her like a new name badge with some dude name on it.
Jeez.
I mean, they totally. And they kept it, obviously, from the mom. It's just, they're...
So it was both verbal and physical assaults at school, but also included a constant barrage of threats of rape by the male classmates. Despite this, the school encouraged her to use the boys' bathroom.
Behind the mom's back.
Blair previously informed the school that her daughter had a history of mental health issues, including depression, eating disorders, self-harm, hallucinations. Oh, geez. Even with all that information, however, the school opted to pursue a social transition for Sage behind the back of her parents. And so this is what happened. The 14-year-old was allowed to change her name to Draco at school. Little Harry Potter influence there, perhaps?
Oh, yeah.
Her parents eventually uncovered details of the situation only when they found a hall pass in Draco's name. According to the Child and Parent Rights Campaign, who filed the lawsuit on behalf of the mom, the school's decision to withhold information about Sage's gender identity deprived Blair of her ability to exercise her fundamental parental rights.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
They love doing that stuff behind the backs of parents.
Yeah, school officials were encouraging her to use the boys' bathroom even though they knew she was being threatened with sexual assault. So she perceived herself that she wasn't safe, and she ran away from home. She ran into the arms of a waiting pedophile who encountered her, raped her, trafficked her with two other men, and took her across state lines to Washington, D.C., and then ultimately into Maryland. In Maryland, she was eventually tracked down and rescued by FBI agents, which is where her nightmare journey should have ended. However, the Baltimore juvenile court system assumed custody of the adolescent at the instruction of an area public defender.
Oh, boy.
The parents were not sufficiently affirming, according to the public defender. They weren't sufficiently affirming of her new identity. And, according to the suit, fabricated a story of abuse and neglect by the parents that convinced a judge to keep her in custody. Now, again, they weren't notified. All of this was kept from the parents. How could they have been affirming? Even if they didn't want to be. They couldn't be because they weren't notified. They didn't know what was going on.
And I think that eventually the state puts her in an all-boys juvenile facility where she is, again,
attacked and assaulted, bullied, raped.
Yep.
It's just horrific. How are we looking the other way and just going along with this insanity? How is this happening to people who should have some sort of reasoning power? We should have some common sense about this stuff, but nope.
Yeah, well,
it's diversity and inclusion above all.
They told us they're coming for your children.
And
they sure are.
Ta-da!
And
congratulations.
In fact, Libs of TikTok posted late last week, they were at like an Arizona nursing school or something, and they said, you need to start asking questions of kids, like if they feel like a different sex, you need to start asking them at age 3.
Oh, my God.
Age 3, it's appropriate to say, hey, do you think...
Hey, you might be a boy?
Yeah, you might be a boy.
Or maybe you're a little girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're coming for
at
your
3, you know. If you don't know by 3, you should have probably been aborted. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If you don't know by 3.
All right. You should actually have your whole life planned out by age 3, don't you think?
Easily. Yes, easily.
Like what kind of career you want.
And if a mistake was made in your gender assignment at birth, it should absolutely be corrected by 3 years old.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
And if you haven't decided,
that's just common sense.
And let's just say you happen to be a school child in Burbank, California, then you're going to want to show up on the day that the mayor comes in and gets spanked in front of you by a drag queen.
That's a weird example. Just out of the blue like that, out of the stinking clear blue sky.
Yeah. And again, since we're going to live in the hypothetical world, let's maybe go back and check some of the mayor of Burbank's tweets and see, oh my gosh, this dude's probably a pedophile. But anyway, whatever. It's America, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a land of the free. And
are you kink shaming over there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Getting spanked by a drag queen in front of children. Yeah, I'm going to shame that one, Chris.
You're going to kink shame.
Kink shame, yeah. Congratulations, though, state of California, the first state in the union to now have an official transgender Pride Month. So,
what month is that?
Hell, I don't know. They just passed it.
Is it? It's not. I hope it doesn't correspond with June, which is LGBTQ Pride Month. You don't want them to overlap at all. So it's got to be a completely separate month.
Wow, they're making them wait all the way till next August before they can start doing it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, August, because we have a list of important dates I keep in the cabinet over there, and I think August was the only one that was devoid of like a fun day where we get to celebrate kinks.
Well, not anymore in California.
So there you go. California found an opening.
When will Kink Pride Month be?
Oh,
that's December.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
I'm not asking why it's December. Don't answer it.
Because you get gifts.
There we go. I said don't answer it. I literally said
well, he
don't
chose to anyway. He gave you more information than you even sought.
Gifts.
That's great.
No more follow-ups.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so I mean,
heaven help
the
us.
state of the nation is healthy, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, our president's healthy. The nation is healthy. Everything's good. It's when you're part of a team.
That's right. That's weird that I have all these little trans notes and then somehow a Michelle Obama story got in this stack.
Oh, that's weird.
I don't know I don't know how that happened.
Big Mike?
Big Mike.
It's amazing how I don't think I'd ever heard that whole theory before, and now I'm seeing it everywhere all the time.
Yeah. Google Michelle Obama in a dress pics. or don't. Do not.
Or don't if you don't want to throw up in your mouth a little bit. All right, more coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Some tweets for you. Hogasm tweets. Living between a pig farm and a paper mill has its disadvantages, but on the bright side, you always know which way the wind is blowing. So that's important to note. Little bright side detail there.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Sean's molasses' smell in Boston smells better than the human excrement smell in San Francisco. Well, I'm guessing that's true.
Yeah. No, that's right.
Yeah. Is that confirmed? Then, do we know that for a fact? Let's fact check that.
Yeah, get back to us.
We'll see. Lone Wolf 2965 tweets, why would today's youth be interested in reading about German saboteurs blowing up part of New York during World War I? But the books don't even identify the saboteurs' preferred pronouns. Oh, yeah, that's...
Gotta go rewrite history. Oh, wait, we already are.
If you don't care about their preferred pronouns, though, I don't want to know about it. Also, Micah 68. It's a horrible... We should look that up and see what that is. Micah 68.
I'm afraid to.
It's a horrible tragedy that Scott Smith needed to be pardoned at all. The fact that this got to that point is embarrassing.
Yeah, and if you still had a Democrat governor of Virginia, Scott Smith would be getting ready for trial.
You ready for Micah 6:8?
Yeah.
I see it here.
Micah 6:8. What is it?
He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God.
It's good.
All right.
I
was a little bit nervous,
We've been enriched. Joe's Liebert pauses. Pat, how this is happening is pretty obvious. Abandonment of God leads to the adoption of idols and demons. Personally, I'm ready to walk through the desert if it gets me away from this demonic society. It's really true. We have talked about that. The nation turning to God again, having maybe an awakening in this country, a spiritual awakening. It's absolutely critical.
But where's this desert?
Absolutely critical.
Where's the desert he's talking about? Is there air conditioning? Because as an American,
no air conditioning.
used to my creature comforts,
you're not gonna.
I'm not walking through the desert
without air conditioning.
At least a really big fan.
By the way, Hillary's going to be here in about half an hour.
Oh, right.
We'll be talking to her about the UFC situation.
Got a new champ.
This new champion. His name is Strickland, I think, right?
Uh-huh.
He's from America, and he's got some interesting things to say about America.
Okay.
We'll get into that. First, let me tell you about the Eden Pure thunderstorm. If you've got odors in your home that are much worse than, like, say, a molasses flood odor decades down the road,
right,
you can get rid of it with the Eden Pure thunderstorm. Thunderstorm gets rid of strong odors from cooking or cigarette smoke or litter boxes, trash cans, all of those things. Thunderstorm starts working in seconds to clear a room of any odor. And there's no costly filters, no maintenance to be done on it.
That's a big selling point, because
it's huge for me.
Once you forget about changing the filter, then it just becomes pointless.
Exactly. But this works on, this is the little unit right here. It works on O3 molecule technology. You just plug it in and turn it on. And you never have to worry about replacing filters. There aren't any. It has a better technology than that. And right now you can save big. Got a great deal this week for you on the thunderstorms. Right now, save $200 on 3 thunderstorms and get 3 rooms in your whole house completely smell-free. 3 units under $200. Go to EdenPureDeals.com. Enter the promo code PAT. That's EdenPureDeals.com. Discount code PAT. And shipping is free.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
So people are pushing back on the New Mexico governor's banning of guns in Albuquerque. Apparently you can't carry with or without a concealed weapons carry. So if you have a concealed weapons permit, doesn't matter. Can't carry your weapon. Wait, what?
Get out my face.
Democrat Congressman Ted Lieu tweeted this out. I support gun safety laws. However, this is from a Democrat. This order from the governor of New Mexico violates the U.S. Constitution. Thank you. Since when do Democrats care about that? Apparently there's a couple left that do, that actually do. No state in the union can suspend the federal Constitution. There's no such thing as a state public health emergency exception to the U.S. Constitution.
Bookmark that tweet from Ted Lieu, because when they try this crap with climate change, they're going to need that tweet.
Oh, and they're going to. They're hell-bent to do that. That's why Joe Biden keeps alluding to it.
And just you remember that, Ted Lieu, because your party's going to try to do this. So how did the governor?
Well, the governor responded. Yeah,
totally enjoyed it. Right?
Hey, Ted, conceal and open carry are state laws that I have jurisdiction over. No, your jurisdiction doesn't supersede the U.S. Constitution, is what he's trying to tell you, Puddin'. Why can't you understand that? And she does. She just doesn't care. If you're really interested in helping curb gun violence, I'd welcome you to join our next police academy class.
Oh, shut up.
Idiot.
You Karen.
She is bad. She is really bad. The Bernalillo County Sheriff in New Mexico also pushed back on the governor at a press conference. This happened yesterday. Check this out.
Let me be clear. I hold my standards high, and I do not or never will hedge on what is right. And I take my oath seriously. In reference to concealed carry and open carry, the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office will not enforce this segment of the order.
Oh, nice.
While I understand the urgency,
good for you.
The temporary ban challenges the foundations of our Constitution, but most importantly, it is unconstitutional.
Yep.
My oath was to protect the Constitution, and that is what I will do.
Okay.
Good.
Good for you.
Good.
Love that.
What's the story here that this New Mexico governor had to pay $62,500 to a former staffer in a sexual harassment settlement?
Yes, she did.
So
what?
I'm just catching
Really?
up on this here, and
interesting.
Something happened where she poured water on this male staffer's crotch and slapped it through his pants.
Okay.
Who among us?
Who among us? Thank you for the Jeffy question there, Chris.
What in the world?
It's a good point. Who among us?
So she paid him off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, congratulations, New Mexico. You got a winner in the governor's mansion there.
Yeah, she's great.
That's for sure.
She's awesome. Then we have this Washington Post reporter was on, his name is Philip Bump. He was on the Comedy Cellar podcast, and they weren't really doing comedy.
Yeah, what is this? This just kind of shows you why
no progress is being made in the mainstream media. They don't care.
Yeah,
they don't acknowledge it. They don't. A lot of times they don't know about it.
If it's related to Joe or Hunter Biden, absolutely.
Yeah, they don't want to know.
Breaking news this morning: McCarthy says that like this week they're going to do something with impeachment.
Kevin McCarthy said that.
Yeah. Let's see. I just saw a little blurb on my phone, and then. Let's see. McCarthy to greenlight Biden impeachment this week.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's get it going.
Okay.
Let's see it. But here was the Washington Post reporter being, I guess his feet are being held to the fire a little bit on, hey, what about this Biden thing? Why aren't you pursuing it? Shouldn't you be pursuing it? Check this out.
What do you take from the text message to his adult daughter? Hunter's text message, I have to give 50% of my income to Pop.
I have no idea what that means. I don't.
Pause it for a second. I'm sorry. You have no idea what that means? What are you, 4?
Okay, well, so let's just do this then. Let's say you don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a reporter? Oh, wait. Oh, no, you are a reporter.
Yeah, maybe you should look into what it means.
Oh, my gosh. Do you ask questions?
Incredible. Watch the rest of this. It's amazing.
I know. It's circumstantial evidence, and you prefer that.
No,
to
what
direct evidence.
could it be?
I have no idea.
But doesn't it?
I don't know.
No idea.
I appreciate your.
Has anybody asked her?
I don't know. I don't know.
Don't you think somebody should ask her?
Okay. Like I'm not. I just said I don't know, and I don't know what to make of it, so I have nothing to say about it.
Yeah,
what
but
do you want me to say?
Yeah, but you say there's no evidence, but then there's a text message where he says, "I give Pop 50% of my money." That's evidence.
Okay. Well, okay, fine.
So
fine.
I appreciate you having me on.
It doesn't. That something like that.
Jeez.
Who do you think is being more? I listen to that and I'm saying,
Am I?
you can free to go.
I feel you want me to leave, like just walk out in the middle of this because that way you can
you can go.
Right.
Is this a standard? Really, this is the way the Washington Post handles people who disagree with them.
When I agree to be on for 45 minutes,
go,
and then I get on for an hour and 15. Yeah, that after a while I go.
Go.
Thanks for having me.
Go. Yeah, nice. Wow. It's like. Anybody remember, this was a while ago, but maybe you've seen the reruns like I have because I was way too young to really know this. In its first run, Hogan's Heroes, Sergeant Schultz on Hogan's Heroes. He was a nice guy who didn't want to enforce rules, so when he saw the Americans in the camp doing something that they weren't supposed to do, I know nothing! I see nothing! That's what this guy's doing.
I mean,
I know nothing.
He's effectively every journalist on the left.
Yeah, they don't want to know. They don't want to know. Now, if it's Donald Trump, oh my gosh, they're bulldogs on this thing.
Wait, you have a P tape? Oh,
yeah, right.
Oh, yes, send it to me. Oh, you don't have it? I'll still write a story on it.
And claim I have evidence of it. It's incredible.
They don't care. They don't care. And I'm surprised, though, that he apparently hasn't gotten the memo the way CNN and NBC and a couple of others here lately, New York Times, I've gotten the memo that he ain't your horse in 2024, y'all. He ain't your horse.
Yeah, the guy is compromised. Mentally, physically, he's just compromised. So badly that the former White House physician, Ronnie Jackson, he was, by the way, a physician to Barack Obama. He's calling for the resignation of Joe Biden. He's like, why don't we invoke the 25th Amendment here? This guy is not fit for office. He said, where are the people in our academic medicine that were out there calling for President Trump to have a cognitive test. Where are these people? Yeah, there's something seriously going on with this man right now. He's either going to resign, they're going to convince him to resign from office at some point in the near future for medical issues, or they're going to have to use the 25th Amendment to get rid of this man right now. There's some serious stuff going on right now. From a physician, thank you for being honest about this. Thank you for realizing that this is crucial. He said, this is a national security issue at this point. It really is. Biden doesn't know what's going on with Ukraine. He doesn't know what's going on with anything. He's not cognitively capable of leading. He needs to resign before our country suffers anymore. He looks tired. He looks weak. He looks confused. He's incoherent. And it sends a message of weakness all over the world. And they're seizing up on that. These aren't gaffes, he said about the mental lapses. This is something much more serious. Nice to see a physician actually noticing this.
Yeah, he's now a congressman, I believe.
Yes.
North Texas, yeah.
He said the whole country is seeing his mental cognitive issues on display for over a year now. Well, way over the year. Come on. And there's really no question in most people's minds that there's something going on with him, that he's not cognitively the same as he used to be, and in my mind, not fit to be our president right now. Every time he gets up and talks to the American people, it's not just the American people that are watching him. It's the whole world, and that's part of what the problem here is. He's got 40 years of tape. You can go back and look at this man. So it's not like we don't have anything to compare it to. How many times have we made that observation when we play a really old clip of him, like from the 90s or early 2000s? It's like, what? I mean, this guy at one point could actually get through a thought, at least. You can go back and look. He's always made gaffes. He's always made missteps, but never like this. This is something different. These aren't gaffes. This is something much more serious. Yep. And it just keeps going. Just keeps going. Don't worry about it. He's fine.
We're fine.
In fact, it's really hard to keep up with this guy. He's so spry and has such mental acuity. Nothing to worry about here. Nothing to see. Move along. The 20-year-olds in the White House, the interns, they can't keep up with this guy. He's never looked at, when we have that paid minion, Harry Sisson, I think. He's spry. He's completely healthy. Watch him. Well, yeah, that's what he said to us, too. And we have. And we continue to. And what we see is not good.
I ain't seen nothing yet.
It's probably true. That's probably true.
Gross.
All right. You get the feeling that something bad is going to happen soon? Because I do. Between the distractions and smoke screens and the media, we might not see it coming, though. That's why it's smart to invest in emergency food right away. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. My Patriot Supply is the nation's leader in high-quality emergency food. Go to my website, preparewithpat.com, and you'll save $200 on a 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. That's a great starting point because through any disaster, 3 months, that should be enough to get you through it. If not, then we're in a lot more trouble than we ever dreamed. But they do have your supply available, and you might want to work up to that. If you can afford it, just do it now. Just do it. And also in these meals, they're really delicious. They take really great care in not just settling for filling up your stomach. It tastes great. Stock up before panic sets in, because when panic sets in, there's going to be shortages. Free shipping is automatic, and your order ships really fast. Go to preparewithpat.com. That's preparewithpat.com.
God save the Queen, man.
Pat Gray Unleashed. Missed an episode? Catch up anytime, anywhere podcasts are found. Pat Gray will be right back.
Overtime today, we got to get into the football situation, especially last night.
Wow.
The Jets-Bills game.
Wow.
Oh, my.
A lot there.
Oh, my. After all the hoopla, after all of the ups and downs of the offseason, and, Aaron Rodgers going from the Packers to the Jets, on the fourth play, he's probably done for the year. Oh, man.
Just hate it for him.
In steps Zach Wilson to save the day. We'll get into that later on. But really exciting. So where do we stand, by the way, on Vivek Ramaswamy? Any movement on that? Because
Vivek as in avoiding us? Does that rhyme? No.
Well, if you include the Ramaswamy, it does. Vivek Ramaswamy, that is avoiding us.
Okay. All right, well.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. It's so frustrating. For one thing, because I'm not even big into interviews. It's really rare when I want to have a guest on. So now that I really want to talk to him, we can't seem to get him interested.
Well,
frankly, I don't get it.
Speaking of, because you don't like doing a lot of interviews, you're looking forward to tomorrow's interview that hopefully the audience, if you have questions for an FBI whistleblower, please send them our way. You can tag us on Twitter, at Keith Malinak, at Real Chris Cruz, at Pat Unleashed, because it's going to be an interesting conversation.
Oh, I'm just hearing in my ear from Chris that we've got Vivek on the line.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
How about that? Vivek, welcome to the show. I mean, better late than never. You know what I mean? Listen, let's clear up once and for all the questions about you accepting a scholarship from George Soros' brother. What can you tell us about that situation? Vivek? Hello?
Wait.
No, Vivek?
We're being told that the line is open.
Line's open. Have we checked the phone today? Do we know it's working? Oh, okay.
Did we?
Oh, boy. Huh. Because I wanted him, what about the WEF thing? What was that all about? Yeah. Check the line again. Is it working? Do we? Weird.
Oh, word. What is happening there?
I don't know. It's really weird.
You got any more questions for him over there?
Yeah, I wanted to ask about him being such a great public speaker. He's so good, in fact, that in some circles, it's almost become a liability to him. Weirdly, there are people who think that he's too well-spoken. So, what do you have to say about that, Vivek? Because you don't seem quite as well-spoken this morning. But good to hear some of the insects speaking out.
Do we have time for me to ask the candidate a question?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
So, Vivek, I'm just wondering where this change occurred, where you said that life begins 6 weeks, at the 6 week mark, then that's a viable life.
Okay.
But then you've also said that life begins at conception. Now, I don't think that's like 6 weeks apart there, is it not? I mean, is that...
Yeah.
Can you clarify your stance on life? Well. Okay. Hello. Okay. Wow. Well, and Vivek, is it true that you want to change the Republican Party mascot from an elephant to an owl after this morning?
I'll take that as a yes. Take that as a definite yes. Thanks for your time, man. I know that
busy schedule.
Wasn't easy getting on.
But thanks for making time. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Vivek Ramaswamy, everybody. Good morning.
I would like to see Vivek and other candidates address that chart right there. That we've got
the cost of living in America.
Somebody sent this to me yesterday. It's terrifying, and it's so accurate. I mean, oh gosh. So it just basically shows the difference between wages and housing over the years here.
Okay.
So there you see, we started in 1985. So they were pretty similar. The average rent price and the household income.
And
then look at that disparity. Oh my.
Wow.
So the rent price in America keeps going up.
Went down for a little while.
Household income is trying to keep up, but not so much. That's the dot-com bubble era.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Look at that. So the household income not nearly
Is it going to go down, though? Because here comes 2008. And, nope.
Hey,
kept going up.
Wait, whoa. Oh,
cost of living keeps going up. Oh, it went down a little bit and then right back up. Meanwhile, wages are
So this is rent versus household income. Red is rent, household income.
Household
not
income.
Nearly keeping pace.
Not quite. No. There seems to be a disparity there.
Wow.
Oh, man.
So.
But that's how well we're doing right now.
That is how we are doing well.
We're doing really, really well.
We're doing so well.
Congratulations, America. You're doing well.
Help.
And don't let me hear you whining about having it bad or not as good as when Trump was in office. You just don't know what you're talking about. We've checked your finances. You're fine. Shut up.
That's what that is what every Biden administration official is saying when they get on TV.
Yep.
You guys just don't realize it. I guess the president has to do a better job of explaining that things are actually better for you than you admit.
We're just not saying it loud enough, I guess. You're all doing fine. Okay. Now, did that get through your thick, stinking skull? I hope so. Because we're getting sick of you people. Okay. Coming up, we're gonna talk to Hilary Kennedy from the 4-Minute Buzz, HilaryKennedy.com, just one L, and find out about the UFC action. We have a new UFC champion, and he's quite a colorful guy. Quite colorful. Get to that next.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome. Great to have you with us. We are joined this morning by Hilary Kennedy of the 4-Minute Buzz, HilaryKennedy.com, just one L. And she doesn't waste consonants like some people in this building do.
That's right.
So you're a huge UFC follower.
I am.
And over the weekend, there was another UFC, 3,286 or whatever it was?
This was UFC 293 in Sydney, Australia. And I like to bring you guys the stuff that really, really captures the attention of everybody, even if you aren't a UFC fan. And this was one of those fights.
Yeah, it was.
Sean Strickland is a UFC fighter that, I'll be honest, I really hadn't followed. I'd seen a couple of interviews with him. He uses a lot of colorful language, which is not really my thing.
Colorful's a nice way to put it.
Yes. And so I hadn't followed him that much. I mean, he's had some good wins, but he's also had a couple losses. He just didn't seem all that exciting to me. But on UFC 293 fight night, he was a 7-1 underdog, and no one expected him to beat Israel Adesanya, who is one of the best fighters in the UFC, middleweight champion, amazing guy. And Strickland just mopped the floor with him.
Wow.
Nobody saw it coming. It was crazy.
Really bloody? The way you like?
I mean, Strickland didn't look like he'd even been in a fight.
Oh, wow.
Now, Adesanya didn't look right. But Strickland didn't even have a mark on him, really. I mean, it was pretty insane. And during the post-fight interview, he even said, like, Adesanya looked like an amateur. Like, this wasn't even worth my time, basically. I mean, it was so fascinating.
I smell a rematch.
Yeah, well, and that's what Dana White was like immediately. We got to see these two face off again. Now, I don't know if that will happen right away.
Yeah.
But I think that people really underestimated, myself included, Strickland's defense. I mean, he was just blocking everything. But I think we have a clip where he talks about what made him really happy being the champion.
Okay.
I actually don't know what does make me happy at times.
Sean, just down here, I know just...
I did like watching the blood splatter from his face, so that was kind of nice.
Oh,
that kind of
man.
made me a little happy.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So, man after my own heart.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Now you like him.
Yeah.
But Adesanya didn't even do a post-fight interview. He sent his trainers and coaches or whatever to go field all the questions.
Is that
which was
normal?
Interesting. No, usually they'll go in there, but also...
Is that a lack of respect, or his face was just so torn up?
Well, I think it may have been a lack of respect because after the fight was over, you could see Adesanya talking to Strickland in the ring, and I thought maybe he was giving him like congratulations or words of encouragement, but it turns out Strickland said he was mad at him because Strickland had made fun of his dog. And I guess his dog died, and he has a tattoo of the dog on his neck, and Strickland made fun of it or something. So anyway, he had major beef about the dog situation. And then Strickland went on to say that he had killed a dog. He wouldn't give a lot of detail. I mean, it was the weirdest. So
this guy is something else.
He's a different cat.
He is. And I think a lot of this stems from he had a really rough childhood. And so someone asked him about it in the post-fight interview, and we have a clip of him talking about that too.
Okay. Oh, no.
Clips of you talking about kind of what growing up for you was like, and your life was kind of put a little bit on show. To go from everything you've been through to now holding that belt that says you're the baddest man at middleweight on the planet, what do you think about that?
Yeah, thank God for child abuse, right? Yeah, let's go childhood traumas and repressed memories. You got me to where I needed to be, man. Like, Dad, you're awesome, man. All of the years of abuse, you really made me the man I had to be today.
He gets a kick out of himself. That much is true. Credits childhood trauma with shocking UFC 293 title win.
So
wow,
I bet that went over well, huh?
And he's talked about this in interviews. He did an interview with Joe Rogan, several other kind of big names, and he's talked in pretty graphic detail about the way he grew up. His dad was an alcoholic, used drugs, he suffered a lot of mental and physical abuse, and apparently Strickland got kicked out of every school he ever attended.
Wait, that guy? No.
Yeah,
hard to believe. I don't see that
it,
happening.
Right?
Yeah. He clearly tries to hide behind the pain. You know, he puts a front up and laughs it off. But
that's some very sweet analysis there.
I hurt for that guy.
Giving him the benefit of the doubt, taking his wounds into account. I like that.
That's what I do. I'm a sensitive man.
Well, that's what we do here.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out.
Is be empathetic for others.
Wait, he made fun of a guy's dog? Oh, I can't stand that guy now. Never mind. Change my mind.
I know. That's really what did it for me.
Yeah.
Now, it is really sad, but that's how he ended up going into mixed martial arts, is he got kicked out of school when he was 14 because he says he was a neo-Nazi at one point in time.
Oh, wow.
That he really revered his grandfather.
At one point in time or still?
He said at one point in time, and he committed a hate crime against someone else due to those beliefs, I think when he was 14 or 15. So his mom took him to a gym to start training to kind of get some of his aggression out. And he said he was around all these different ethnicities at the gym, and that's what changed his ideas about race.
Nice.
But he's not afraid to talk about modern day issues, the transgender movement. I watched a clip where he talked about that with Joe Rogan, and he said, he thinks it's all insanity. He also believes women shouldn't be fighting men in sports or playing men's sports.
He's right about that.
So he says some things that shock a lot of people, including me. And I think we have a clip with him talking about his ideas and thoughts and feelings on women's rights, which Keith so nicely sent to me, and it ruined my whole afternoon.
Oh, good. I'm glad to have done that. Cool.
Barbecue, they hang out, it was like
Brazilians.
It was some good wholesome shit, man. Americans, we need to go
Pause
back
for a
to
second.
like taking
Yeah, because there's no barbecues in America, right? Nobody gathers around the barbecue with their family in America. That doesn't happen.
Hold on a second.
Weird. Yeah, he's mentioning that Brazilians are great because they do barbecues.
Yeah. But, did we pick this up after what he said about his mom and his dad and everything? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
He's out of control.
Yeah, let's see the rest of this.
The workforce, and maybe that is where we f***ed up, you guys. We let women vote. No offense.
No offense.
But let me I want to tell you guys something.
Okay.
Think about America prior to women voting. They try to ban alcohol. I don't even drink, but I'm not trying to ban alcohol. So what you did, man, you let these women come in the workforce. Now we make less money. You got kids raising themselves on fucking TikTok. We need to go back to like 1942, especially after, maybe 1958 after we fucked up the Germans. We need to put women back in the kitchen. We need to take only one man needs to be working.
Jeffy, is that you?
So I think as a collective man group, we need to elect somebody that's going to put women back in the kitchen, put one man working, raise the wages, and build a fucking wall.
Have you ever thought about going to therapy, Sean?
For what?
For
just
what?
Talk about your dad and your background. I'm curious if you ever thought about going to therapy.
I don't know, man. Did you have good parents? Did no one touch you growing up?
Oh, well, as try as I might know.
Oh, sure. I was checking. No.
Wow. So you're a fan of that, right?
The second I started to root for him, knowing his backstory, I was like, oh, you lost me with the women's rights thing and women not being able to vote.
Yeah.
But
being back in the kitchen.
Right. Because everyone knows that's my favorite spot. But he will say pretty much. He also
he said no offense though. So
right.
I'm sure none was taken. Right. That should clear it up.
Did that not?
It's like when you say "bless your heart," you ignore all the rest of what you've just been saying about that person.
Right.
So
right.
Man, you really hold a grudge, don't you?
It is nice to see someone like him who's come from nothing, and he'll tell you, I came from nothing. Make
Arkansas,
it,
right?
But
is that where he's from?
He was from Corona, California.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh.
Oh,
okay.
But he did say if I wasn't in the UFC, I would probably be cooking meth in a trailer.
I believe
but he has
that.
also said he wouldn't mind killing someone in the octagon, and he said I'm prepared to die, but he said that's what motivates him. So he's a loose cannon.
Wait, that murdering someone motivates him?
I mean, he's got a lot of pent-up aggression and rage. So a lot of people at first said, like, he's got some of the same qualities as Conor McGregor, kind of a loose cannon. He'll say whatever. He'll fight anybody anytime. This is a whole other animal.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, in a way, it's super offensive, and he's saying some ugly things. But it's kind of refreshing that somebody will just let it all out like that.
I know.
You know?
That's
He's
true.
not trying
That's
to
true.
hide anything.
No.
That's true.
I mean, when they asked him, how, you've said winning your first UFC fight was one of the happiest moments in your life. How does it feel now to be the middleweight champion? And he's like, actually, I'm pretty much over it. This was in the post-fight interview. He's like, I'm over it. He said, it's one moment in time, and then we move on. He's like, I'm going to train in the gym the next day. People congratulate me, and then it's on to the next. Man. So I thought that was really interesting. They asked him what he was going to do with his winnings, and he said, I'm probably going to go back to the room, order room service, then, get ready to go home. So simple guy.
Do we know how much you made for the fight?
Gosh,
Any idea?
I don't. I should have looked that up. But I know since he got the performance of the night bonus, that's a lot.
But I mean, just and people have complained about this in the past, that the UFC scale is so much different than and smaller than, say, professional boxing.
Right.
They just don't make that kind of money.
No, they don't. And the risks are quite a bit higher, too.
Yeah.
But this is what I love about boxing, about mixed martial arts, because Adesanya, such an amazing guy, but he clearly had an off night. And in a fight like this, you don't have a whole team. Like if you play football, Keith's sport, like if you don't have a whole team to back you up if you're having an off night where everyone else might be, on their game. This is just you in the ring. And if you're having an off night, it's anybody's chance
pay
to
for
win.
it.
Yes. And I love that because, it's so raw and real.
So Chris tells me that he got $500,000 and then $100,000 bonus on top of that.
Okay. So $600,000 as opposed to boxing where you'd probably make $5 million or $10 million from the fight.
Yeah.
Especially when there's pay-per-view involved.
I'd love to know what
pay-per-view?
Dana's take home was. We do usually pay for the fights unless we can find a place to show it.
And that could be $100.
Yes.
So when you have 1 million people, that's a lot of money, and you should probably be getting a better split than 500,000 of that.
I would be very curious to know what Dana's take home is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He's making a fortune.
But yeah, so Sean Strickland, one to watch.
Okay.
Hopefully we will see him fight Israel Adesanya again. But yeah, guy to keep your eye on.
Okay. Well, we'll follow you all the way to the 4-minute buzz coming up in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us. Thanks. All right, 888-900-3393. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. You destined to outlive your savings? Studies show the average person will outlive their savings by almost 10 years. That's not good. That's 10 years without a retirement income when, you need it most. That's proof that conventional retirement planning advice has failed for most Americans. There's a better way to grow your nest egg, though. It's called Bank on Yourself. It's a guaranteed, predictable way to grow your hard-earned money. This retirement plan alternative gives you the control of your money plus tax-free income. Tax-free income in retirement. Guaranteed, predictable growth and retirement income. And the other thing is, there's no luck, there's no skill or guesswork involved. Your plan doesn't go backward when the markets tumble. Both your principal and your growth are locked in. It's incredible. It's a great plan. You want to find out more? Get a free report with all the details on how the Bank on Yourself strategy adds guarantees, predictability, tax savings, and control of your financial plan. Just go to bankonyourself.com/unleashed. That's bankonyourself.com/unleashed. Do that today.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
Interesting study done where free speech was looked into, and at college, how free is your speech? Because we've seen conservatives be drummed off of stages, out of cities, people attacked, berated, belittled, protested against. So where is that the worst? Turns out Harvard is officially the worst school for free speech in America.
Say it ain't so.
That's probably not coming as a massive surprise to anybody. The Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, or FIRE, released its annual college free speech rankings, and it's Harvard that is the worst. I'm not totally surprised, Director of Polling and Analytics at FIRE said. We've done these rankings for years now, and Harvard is consistently near the bottom. Despite being the most acclaimed academic institution in the country, Harvard received a 0.00 free speech ranking.
So that's not good, huh?
Wow. FIRE says the dismal score was generous, considering Harvard's actual score was minus 10.69. Their score was dragged down by the fact that 9 professors and researchers there faced calls to be punished or fired based on what they'd said or written. 7 of the 9 were actually professionally disciplined. Huh. Wow. Okay. So despite the fact that it ranks high for academic standards, did we talk about this?
Do we have the list of the top 5?
We have the list of the 20 best colleges. This is from the Wall Street Journal. 20 best colleges in America. Harvard actually doesn't top this list. Princeton does. Then that's followed by MIT. Did we talk about this already?
I don't remember that. No, I don't remember that. I just wondered, does it have a list of the 5, like on the last page of that story you were just reading? Does it have the free speech
the top
rankings?
ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It has the top
Do we
and
have the
bottom.
graphic for that, guys?
The top 5, MIT.
So MIT, so this is the most free?
Yeah.
Okay.
Auburn, University of New Hampshire, Oregon State, and Florida State round out the top 5.
Okay.
The bottom 5, Harvard, Penn, South Carolina, Georgetown, and Fordham.
Wow, South Carolina.
Yeah, interesting.
So those are bad for free speech. So
bad.
That's different than what you've got. The best academic?
Yes, the best colleges in America as compiled by the Wall Street Journal. Princeton, MIT, Yale, followed by Stanford, Columbia, and at number 6, Harvard. Right after Harvard, University of Pennsylvania, Penn, another Ivy League college, Amherst, Claremont McKenna, and something called Babson College.
Babson. They're the fighting
Babs.
Babs.
Yeah.
Fighting Babs.
Either the Fighting Babs, sometimes they go by the Fighting Sons.
Why do they switch like that? That's kind of like
I don't know. I think it just depends on their mood for the
like
weekend.
War Eagle or Tiger.
Yeah, it's kind of like
you
that.
gotta pick one. Come on.
So that's your top 10. Then we got Swarthmore, Georgetown, Vanderbilt, Lehigh, University of Florida, the first public institution that we've encountered. Duke, Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. You ever heard of that? I've never heard of that school.
What was it again?
Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology.
No, but maybe Nebraska can schedule them and get a W every now and then.
Would they, though? Would they get the W in football?
That wasn't funny. That wasn't funny. You should have just let the joke lie.
Caltech, The California Institute of Technology, 18th. New Jersey Institute of Technology, 19th. And at number 20, Brigham Young University.
Oh, wow.
BYU,
Top
20th.
Educational.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Can we just circle back to Babson College?
After I tell you that the godless animals came in 43rd. Okay? 43rd.
You've got the entire list there?
I do. It goes up to 400.
Can you do Control F Nebraska? Want to know where that
Let's
is?
see where Nebraska wound up. Nebraska.
Great education there. University of Nebraska. I'd like to point out. Shout out to the East Campus.
Turns out Nebraska filtered by... It's okay.
It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what?
Here it is.
No,
University of Nebraska, Lincoln.
Can we rank high in anything?
Number 285.
Yeah.
You're in the top 300. So congratulations.
I mean, they gave me a degree. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Worth quite a bit, apparently.
Quite a bit. Did I tell you how I missed a 3.0 GPA because I left a 3x5 note card on my apartment kitchen table in senior year?
I don't think so.
Still bitter about that. But anyway, Babson College is in Wellesley, Massachusetts, and they're they're not the Babs. They're not the Fighting Babs.
They're not the how about the Fighting Sons?
They're not the Fighting Sons.
Okay, what
they're
are
the
they?
Beavers. The Babson Beavers. Okay?
The Babson Beavers.
Division 3.
Do they know that is already taken by Oregon State?
In like probably 3 dozen colleges.
It's probably the Beavers. Why would you name your sports team after beavers?
Because they build stuff with their teeth.
I guess. Okay.
Is the beaver situation in your neighborhood cleared up yet? Are they gone completely?
Yeah, I don't know if they're completely gone, but we haven't had any alerts for a while. Since we all spent $2,000 to get the beavers out of our area.
That's bullcrap. How many houses are in your neighborhood, do you think?
65.
Is that a guess, or you think
No,
that's
I
accurate?
know it's 65.
Okay, so that's a lot of cash right there.
Uh-huh. Yes, it is.
You spent $2,000 per family?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So $130,000? Check my Keith math. It didn't cost no $130,000 to get the beavers out. I think your exterminator... I bet his name, if you check his badge, is Volodymyr Zelensky. I bet he pocketed. He probably spent a couple grand to get him out of there.
Probably.
And he walked out with a healthy profit. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm upset for you and your fellow neighbors.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being upset on my behalf. I appreciate that.
Meanwhile, my stupid neighborhood just added speed bumps everywhere.
Oh, yeah. And didn't you talk to your mayor about that?
I talked to the mayor about a lot of stuff.
So they... What was the first thing? Was that the first thing you were complaining about? And then something else came up, too.
I can't keep up with how many things I complain about with my mayor. But the speed bumps are on a road, like a main thoroughfare. I want you to imagine your daily commute into work, okay? Mm-hmm. And let's say it's pitch dark on this random road that you commute on. And then they just decide... out of nowhere, you know what? We're just going to build speed bumps.
Yeah,
not roundabouts.
Would not like it.
Not stop signs. Not hire police enforcement.
A roundabout would actually cost you some money.
Okay, but we're not going to lower the speed limit. We're not going to put cops there. We're not going to put in a stop sign. We're going to just say, hey, no one will notice these completely dark speed bumps here on this main road in the country.
I experienced your speed bumps on Sunday.
Yeah, well,
I was like, what?
Yeah, it's hell. I'm ready to.
Are they the really big kind where you have to slow down to 0 to go over it, or you're going to bottom out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jeez, I hate that.
Oh, yeah.
I freaking hate that.
Oh, it's like a washboard, bro. And it's like a little, oh, gosh, I am not a happy camper.
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
Really bad.
You bottomed out, didn't you?
I did.
Oh, my gosh, you got to see these speed bumps, y'all.
3 times.
There's like car
Why don't
parts
you
all
take
over
a little
the road.
picture and then present that on the show? Let's see. Because
it's like, when you go into a trailer
park.
Park.
It unless I see
Yes,
it.
you go into a trailer park and you're like, oh, crap, I got to slow down because that's on a main road now.
And then they think the signs are enough.
Oh, then they put up these signs, say, bump. Oh, yeah, thanks.
Oh, you do have the sign?
Oh, yeah, they put a sign up.
Oh, well, you got plenty of warning then. I don't want to hear you complaining.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
My bad. Neither did my mayor. I swear, man. I just...
He must love you. I bet he loves you. Your mayor. Can't wait to hear from you again.
He loves me more than the last mayor did. That's for sure.
Okay.
I think the last mayor decided just to leave because they got tired of getting calls from.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Keith Malinak.
Would not doubt it. By the way, the Babylon Bee Guide, we talked to these guys a couple of weeks ago. The book that they were talking about, the gender book, it's out starting today.
Nice.
So
that's a fun book.
Check that out. And didn't we post our interview with those guys?
Yep. It'll go out today.
Okay. Also, the other thing I want to mention is if you need something delicious in your life, please go to Keksi.com, KEKSI.com. We've got the whole lineup of new fall flavors, including s'mores with that delicious marshmallowy center.
Dude, that one is that's
so good.
That's evil. It's so good.
So there's that. There's the caramel apple pie made with apple cider and our delicious homemade caramel. And the mini cookies are back in stock for a short, limited time only. Keksi.com. Check that out. We will see you on Overtime. And back here tomorrow with Jeffy to chew the fat.
This is